You're an atheist in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
How does that fly?
It's not so bad, and I don't hide it. I mean, it's like the majority of my coworkers, whether I was teaching or before when I was in business, they were almost all Mormons, but I never hid it. I was just pretty straight up about it. But I also wasn't a dick, right?
Yeah. When I was younger, I was, I did the militant atheist thing. When I first became an atheist, when a lot of people first become atheists, especially if you're a Catholic, were you raised Catholic like I was?
Oh, yeah, very Catholic.
So it's a violent breakup, right? It's not like we weren't Unitarians, you know what I mean? Right. It wasn't kumbaya. Yeah. It was, Catholicism is like, you're in it, you're either with us or you're against us, like the old Bush line.
I'll always say, even though, and it's been a long time, like I stopped being a Catholic probably when I was 17.
Yeah.
But it, like, culturally, it never leaves you, right?
Right.
You never stop being a Catholic.
Culturally Catholic, I say, yeah.
And I'll say this, I've over the years gone a couple times here and there to church.
Yeah.
My wife still likes to go sometimes. She's agnostic, and
yeah,
I'll go with her. And it doesn't feel like one thing about being Catholic and going to church is that it's just a process, right? It's just a step-by-step process. That 1 hour, those 60 minutes.
It's like going to a family reunion where you haven't seen anybody for a long time, but you know how the conversation's going to go. You know what the vibe is going to be at the place. You know what happens after dinner. You know the process already.
And it's funny is that, the communion, right? You go get your communion wafer, if you've gone and you've confessed your sins or whatever. And for a long time, I've had I don't give a fuck about anything, especially anything related to religion.
Yeah.
And I should just go up and get the wafer, right? Just take it. Fuck them. I'll take the wafer. But I don't. I don't. I'll sit there and be one of those. I'm a sinner. I'm not gonna go and grab the wafer because there's still, I don't believe in any of that. But it's so ingrained in you. It's so ingrained.
Ooh. No, when I became an atheist about 14, 15. But then I would keep going up getting a wafer because I was like, fuck that. If everybody's getting a wafer, I want to get a wafer too, man.
There you go. So you were being a rebel. That's good.
Yeah. But then my grandma, caught wind that I was an atheist or that I wasn't a believer. And then, she wouldn't let me take the wafer anymore. She's like, no, that's only for believers or whatever. I'm like, oh. Well. I brought my own crackers. I brought some Ritz.
My mother still doesn't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I won't tell her. It's important to her. And who am I? She's earned it. If she wants, she's earned the right to believe in what she wants to.
They have a whole thing of haunted minds too. I don't.
Oh yeah.
Again, culturally Catholic, right? I'm atheist, but I'm culturally Catholic, so I'll go see a haunted mind.
Of course.
Especially, my mom being from Honduras. Honduras is, when I was growing up, I didn't know where Honduras was. It was just like this. It was like a place where there was witches, there was la lechuza, people shape-shifting into owls and shit. My grandfather, my grandmother tells a story where, everybody would go around in the bosque with rifles, because you could come against a snake or something.
Right.
And he was walking in the forest, and a wild boar comes and attacks him, right? And he fucking shoots the thing, right? Boom, boom. And he runs, and he's like, oh, he's looking at his big-ass fucking boar. And he's like, oh, he goes back to the town, and he's going to say, hey, I shot this big-ass boar. Come and help me carry it back. So he goes to show him where the boar's at, and it's an old woman. So the story, in Honduras, there's la lechuza, right? The shape-shifting woman.
Yeah.
I'm an atheist now, but people have to understand, when you're a kid, people tell you that, adults tell you that, people you respect, who you see are very successful in their. Right. My grandma had a very successful business, right? She's a smart woman, and she's telling you these stories as if they're fact. So you grew up thinking that witches and ghosts and demons are part of nature.
Yeah. No, I mean, and in Puerto Rico, that shit happened everywhere. Oh, the kids, man, the cuco, everybody was afraid of the fucking cuco. And the older ladies would always tell you that cuco was Satan's brother or whatever. Coming, don't go out at night. He's out there. He's waiting for you to take you to hell. El cuco está por ahí. And you'd see, where it was either maybe a junkie or a drunk, because there was a lot of them that were rolling around the streets and stuff, shuffling around in the streets, and and they'd say, ese es el cuco, cuidado, ahí está el cuco, te va a joder, te va a llevar para el infierno. And you believe it? I believed it.
Oh,
I
for
was scared as
sure.
fuck of those people.
Like, you don't know anything about the world, so people are telling you these are facts. You take them as facts, right?